In this video, let's see how to debug DataRaptor post or load. These are the few steps that we can follow while debugging any of the DataRaptor like DataRaptor extract, turbo extract or DataRaptor post. Few of the steps I have explained in my previous video that you can refer. Now in this video we will learn few of the types of error that we may face while working on DataRaptor post and how to fix it. To explain this, I am taking the example which I have explained in the previous video of DataRaptor post. The first one, field custom validation exception and some message is given, email field cannot be blank. First of all, let me show you this error message. To demonstrate this, I created one DataRaptor post. Let me explain you from the beginning. Object selected is contact, nothing in the formula field. In the field mapping, three fields are mapped like account ID, last name, phone. I want to map email as well. Then I'm adding email field. So email, domain object, email. Now we have this four mapping. You can delete this account ID as well. If you want, you can disable also. That's fine. Now nothing in the options. In the preview, I'm not passing the email field. Let's execute. My requirement is that I don't want to pass email field any value for this. It may come or it may not come. Let's execute. I'm getting error, email field cannot be blank. This is a very simple use case where we are getting clear message that email field cannot be blank. Then it's clear understanding that contact object email field is mandatory. Reason may be anything. It may be a standard field or it's a mandatory field as per the standard object, or there might be some validation rule, there might be trigger, any other rule is there that is asking to enter some value to the email. But in my use case, in my requirement, email field may or may not have value. Then in that case, first of all, you need to check what kind of rule, what kind of trigger, or what's the reason that is asking to have the email field. As this is the contact object, go to the contact object, check if any validation rule is there. To demonstrate this example, I have already created one validation rule on the contact object that is asking me to enter the email field. If it is a blank, we should get the message email field cannot be blank. Now what happened here actually? This is a DataRaptor post, or I can say DataRaptor part of the OmniStudio. What OmniStudio does, whenever we get an error message at the backend like field custom validation exception, then OmniStudio used to check due to what this message is coming, and whatever the custom message we are displaying here, that message is shown on the OmniStudio component debug console like this. But in case if we try the similar kind of example with the help of any tool, that tool will show you this kind of message, field custom validation exception. Now to fix this issue, what we can do, in our case, as this is a sample use case, I can disable this validation rule. But in real-time project, you cannot do like this. You need to have the proper approval, or you can find out some other alternative so that validation rule can also be there and you can run DataRaptor post as well. This is completely depend on the requirement. What you can do by asking or by having the approval, you can have some value here in the email field as a default value and you can fix it. Now in this case, to demonstrate this, what I have done, I deactivated this validation rule and now I will execute. So it's running fine. I'm not getting any error. This way we can fix this type of errors. All the possible ways what we are supposed to do in the real-time project that I have explained you, that you can follow it. This is a very simple use case. Now let's see one more, duplicate records or duplicated results found for. Let me show you this. Now again we do have contact object, no formulas. In the field mapping, I map last name, phone. Last name is check here for the upset key. So upset means what? We can update or we can insert as well. That's the purpose of upset. I have explained in my previous, I think video number 12, how to update any of the record in the DataRaptor post. In the previous section, I'm trying to update if this dr debug1 is present, then update the phone with some value. If it is not present, then insert the new record. I mean, update if present, or if not present, insert it. That's the last name, and that's the purpose of this upsert key. Now let's execute. Already we are getting this error. Let me execute one more time to show the same. So duplicated results found for contact last name. What does this error is saying? Dr debug1. This is the contact last name. If I want to update the phone value for this last name, but we do have multiple contacts with the same name. Let me show you. If I export this, see, we have dr debug1 here as well as here. So we do have more than one contact with the same name. So DataRaptor Post gets confused here. Which contact record having dr debug1 I shall update? So it's a duplicate results found. In this case, what we are supposed to do? Either it depends on the requirement, it depends on the approval. We can delete the existing some records, or we need to insert the new record then. It's all about the requirement and need of that use case or that project. If I say here something 10, I can solve this error, but this is not the standard way. Here I'm trying to explain you what is the reason for these kinds of error. If I say execute, then I'm not getting any error, and I'm able to create the contact with dr debug 10. If I find here existing contacts are 8, so now becomes 10. I'm able to create new record with the change in phone. So this way such kind of error can be solved. Either you can delete some records, duplicate records, or if you want to create new, you can also remove this upsert key. Once you remove this upsert key, you will be able to create the new record. But that's not the good practice. All depends on the requirement, what you want to achieve. Anyway, we learned how to solve this kind of error. Now one more. If we are getting such error, use one of these records. Let me show you. What is this? Same DataRaptor Post, contact object, no formula. In the field mapping is done. Last name, it's a upsert. Email field, phone value in the preview. What is happening? We do have dr debug 5, one of the contact. If you can see here. Oh, it's not there. I want to create a new contact. Okay. Let me check once again. Yeah, we don't have dr debug 5. Okay, that's fine. Phone value is something, and email is something like this. Do we have email? Yes, we do have the similar email. Okay, then let's execute. We are getting error. Use one of these records. What is this error is saying? Already I debug, and what's the cause of this error? What is happening here? Last name, where is dr debug 5? It's not present, and field last name is check for the upsert key. As we know, upsert means what? If this dr debug 5 exists, update these values. If it is not exist, means insert new record with these values. Now in this case, dr debug 5 is not present in the org, so as expected, this DataRaptor should create a new contact record with these details, but it's giving the error. What is happening? For the contact object, there are some duplicate rules, and that duplicate rule is on the field email. If you observe, in the existing contact records, same email is there. If I copy this and try to check this, see, we can see there are few contact records having the same email, and as I mentioned, on the contact standard object there is a duplicate rule and having the matching rule for the email field of the contact, and due to that we cannot insert a new record having same email of other contacts as well, and hence we are getting this error. Use one of these records. What is happening here? Salesforce gets confused. If I want to create a new record with this last name, but this new record is having the same email, that email is getting duplicated. So in this case, what we can do, if you want to find, you can go into the setup, search duplicate rules. In the duplicate rules, you can find one of the rule here. If you see here, object account contact lead. So this is the duplicate rule on the contact object for the email field. If we deactivate it, let's see whether we are able to run this. execute, see, we are able to run this successfully. New contact is created with drdebug5 and the same email. drdebug5 is not there. Run export. Yes, we are able to create it. As we deactivated this duplicate rule, if we activate it again, you may face the same error message. Now in this case, I tried to show you what's the reason of this kind of error. Use one of these records. If you have seen this duplicate duplicate rules, this may occur for another objects as well, or someone might have created some other duplicate rules as well as a custom duplicate rules. So you need to check whether for that specific object any duplicate rules are created for that field. Accordingly, you can take your call and you can fix this kind of errors. Now next one, required fields are missing and field name is mentioned. This is a simple use case. Let me show you. Same DataRaptor post contact object, field mapping and preview. What you are doing here, I mentioned here email as well. If you want, you can remove this or you can keep it, that's fine. What is exactly I'm doing here? I'm trying to create a new contact record, okay, but I'm not passing last name. Now in this case, this is a sample use case, so this is immediately recognized that something is blank. But in some time you are passing some data from another component like IP or OmniScript, and from those components only you are not able to pass required field value, and in that case you may get this error, required fields are missing last name. It also shows which field value is missing. Here last name is missing. So if we execute, it's giving this message. If we type here something, test contact, it should work. So it's working fine. So this is a simple error message, but make sure that you are passing the proper values from other components while calling this DataRaptor post. Now next one, invalid cross reference key, invalid ID value. Let me show you when this error occur and how you can fix it. What is happening here? Same object. In the field mapping, you are going to pass last name of the contact, phone of the contact and account ID. In the preview, let me pass here some test contact 5 and you are passing some phone value, and in the account ID where you are supposed to pass account ID of specific account, but by mistake someone is passing some string or the account name. This is a possible scenario when we pass some value. Now in this case, contact account ID, this is well known to us, but if there is some custom objects relationship between the objects, sometime we may pass some invalid value instead of ID. So if we execute it, it gives this kind of error, ID value of incorrect type. If we fix this, if we pass some account ID here, this will run as expected. Let me try this. Let me have some account ID. So if I take this account ID for example, and let's use execute, yes, we are able to create the contact, test contact 5. If I go here, yes, it's created with this account ID. So this error is fixed. Then how to debug it? If this is a sample use case, you are able to find out. In case you are passing some values from other components, you need to debug those components. For example, IP, you need to debug it. For example, OmniScript, you need to check the debug logs. When we will cover the videos on those components, I will show you how to debug it. Now, next one, ID value of incorrect type. Pass contact ID instead of account ID. Let me show you this first of all. When this error come, what is happening here? As I shown in the previous case, we need to pass the account ID. By mistake, you are passing some other ID. I have mentioned here contact ID, but you may pass some other IDs as well. So same scenarios, account ID, last name, phone, preview. Let's execute. Then here what is happening? We are getting the error account ID, ID value of incorrect type. Why this? Because you are passing here some other object record ID instead of account ID. If you pass here the proper account ID, then this error will not come. Copy it, paste here, then let's try. Sorry, not here. Execute. Yes, we are able to solve it. Similarly, there is one more. Insufficient access right on cross-reference ID. If in case, if I show you, we are passing here account ID 001, it means account ID, but in some other cases the whole ID is not correct. You are passing something incorrect account ID. Other things are same, object, field mapping, everything is same, but account ID is passed, that is the invalid ID. If I execute, then we are getting this error, insufficient access right on cross-reference ID. What's the reason? This ID is not correct. If you want to check, what you can do while debugging, copy this and you can go to some other tab and you can check this, what it shows. If I'm opening it, let it load, then let's see whether we are able to see account ID or not. It's giving this message. It means what? That account ID is not valid. Hence we are getting this error message. If we correct this, you will be able to understand. Now question might be in your mind, now these are the sample use cases that easily I am able to explain you, but in real-time project you need to debug these cases. For example, you are calling this DataRaptor from the Omni script or maybe from the IP. When you call this DataRaptor Post, then you need to see what kind of values are getting passed from these components. You can see there what kind of input is passed, whatever the input is getting passed. Similarly, you can copy those inputs. You can run this DataRaptor, copy those inputs in this DataRaptor and try to execute, or you can check like this. In future, I will have some more videos on the Omni script and IP, how to debug it. In those videos also, I will explain you how you need to follow these steps to debug these components or DataRaptors as well. There is one more, insufficient access or read only. The custom message the message of this error itself shows this is regarding the access, that we can easily check what record we are going to insert or update, whether the logged in user or running user having access on that object field or not. Accordingly, this can be fixed. Now these are some sample errors when we work on DataRaptor post or load, and this way we can fix it. These are some sample interview questions that you can try, the same what I explained in this video. For example, DataRaptor post is not working. What could be the possible root causes? Then you can follow these kind of messages, or you can explain these might be possible errors that we need to debug it. Second one, unable to update the records using dr load. Every time when it executes, it's creating the new record. I have already explained and demonstrated this scenario in one of the video. I think might be video 12 or 11. This is also one of the scenario based question that might be asked in an interview. What this question is saying, DataRaptor post is updating number of leads generated daily using some development. There might be some Omni script, IP and DataRaptor post. What is happening here? It is updating lead count as at least 1. Even no leads are generated on some other day. If no leads are generated, then it should update the count as 0. But this DataRaptor is updating count as 1. So how will you debug and what is the possible root cause of this? This is also how I explained in my one of the video which demonstrate about the list size. So this is a hint of this question. You can try these questions, try to comment your answer, and if you have any doubt, you can mention in the comment. From next video, let's start with the integration procedure, what is IP and how we need to work on the IP. Thank you for watching.